Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you as always for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapache, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you once more for joining us on this lovely Monday, Cinco de Mayo. I hope you guys had your tacos and burritos and margaritas for the weekend because unfortunately Cinco de Mayo landed on a Monday, the first day of the work week. So hopefully you guys didn't get too crazy on your lunch breaks and went by the fucking El Torito. I don't. What Mexican restaurants do you have over there where you're at, Andrew?
Right now it's like a lot of restaurants, man. Are you talking like the white ones, like Chipotle, shit like that?
No. A little more authentic ones. Not
Yeah,
so.
nah, there's not really any more. I'm gonna say street vendors and taquerias. The food trucks have really killed that industry.
Mm,
Not too many restaurants left, man. You know,
mhm, mhm.
um, kind of sad. That I do miss the restaurant. I won't lie. I'm
Yeah.
kind of tired of the same menu, Miguel. It's the same menu everywhere you go, bro.
Yeah. No, it is, man. They gotta get creative. If they don't start getting creative, they're gonna start losing out to some other people who do get creative.
It's
Uh,
like I know I'm going off track here, but it's your fault. It's like I know they were trying to keep up with fast food, right? Fast food
sure,
was killing the food industry, right?
sure.
But then they got real lazy. And they didn't bring it back. They just
Mhm.
stayed going lazy. Now they're just as lazy as the fast food guys sometimes. Yeah, ketchup as the salsa and shit like that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like, what the hell's going on here? So nah. Um, we cooked our own. It was carne
Ah,
asada all weekend.
there you
Yeah,
go. Got to do it
that's
yourself sometimes, right? It's like, hey,
that's right.
I know that the new hottest thing, I won't say new, over the last like 3 or 4 years have been those like quesadilla birria stuff, like quesabirrias they call them. I don't know
Yes,
if you, those are pretty
yes,
killer. Had a
yeah.
couple of those this weekend, so I definitely did my fair share of Cinco de Mayo celebrating this weekend because, why, Andrew? Because we were disappointed at the television. Quite fucking a bit. If you can't do it your damn self, it's like, you know what? If we're not gonna go to these, if there aren't any of these good Mexican restaurants, you're gonna have to cook some carne asada yourself. If they weren't any good fights this weekend, you're gonna have to put on the gloves and throw down with your uncle in the fucking backyard because that's literally what we have to go with. There's a lot of happened this weekend that we're gonna talk about because this uh, some this weekend well, not say supposed to be. It was the most star-studded weekend in boxing history, or at least in recent memory. Stars left and right. Whether or not they actually came through is another story, and that's what we're going to get into, of course. In addition to other stuff that we hear, um, we talked about Pacquiao coming back, right? Officially coming back to take on Barrios. Other stuff going on, like one Fundora giving up his WBO belt or being stripped of it, which we'll get to later on. But of course, the story of the weekend was Friday, Times Square, Saturday, Saudi Arabia, Sunday here at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's just say that it didn't it didn't come through with flying colors. It did not. It disappointed greatly. Let's just say. Thankfully, in a way, kind of sort of saved the day, saved the weekend on Sunday, which we'll get to at the very end. But we're going to go in chronological order here. We're going to start with the Friday card. Now, Andrew, before we start talking about, oh, you know what? I didn't even ask you how you doing. I thought we went into the fucking Cinco de Mayo weekend. I didn't even ask you how you doing. That's how disappointed I was in this weekend.
Yeah, Miguel, I'm hearing it in your voice, man. What is going on? We had Lopez resurrected his career this weekend. You had Haney. Haney came back from a tough situation and got a win. Now, what is that? It says,
Oh,
did you hear that in your headset or was that just mine?
all I heard, I didn't hear anything. What was it? What did it say?
Oh, it was like a ding ding, like we were getting a message or some kind of phone call or something,
Oh
but
shit!
whatever.
You got your
But
email open?
I don't know. I don't know what that was. But, anyways, it was a good weekend. All right. If you're a Haney fan, you had a good weekend. If you're a Lopez fan, you had a good weekend. If you're a Raleigh fucking Romero gambler, this is a weekend you're never going to forget, right? The
Mhm.
Degenerates won this weekend. No, man, don't start this show off bad, Miguel. Hey, Skull.
Skull.
We didn't know him when he came. We won't know him tomorrow. It's fuck that guy, right?
Mhm.
That's his fault. That's his loss. Moving on. Canelo's fans are happy. Canelo gets a shot at legacy with Terence. We're going to get into all that. But no, I had a great weekend. It was good fights. Everyone won, Miguel, that I wanted to win. I am sorry that I underestimated Lopez. I really did. I'm so happy Lopez brought it back the way he did.
He did give us a reason to. Remember the in the ring saying like, "Do I got it anymore, guys?" Like he did give us a reason to.
Exactly. No, absolutely. But he brought it back. That wasn't just the opponent. We'll get into it. It wasn't just the opponent. The money brought him back. Turkey Ali Sheik has rekindled the fire with the money that he is now offering on the table. This ain't Top Rank anymore. They won't be begging. That'll lead into the announcement of the promoter of TKO. I'll get into that one too. You better throw that softball at some point down. All right.
Oh, it's on the card.
All right. But no, besides that, man, and then in a way, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, dude, Nonito Donaire knocks out in a way when he was in his prime. He never would have got past Donaire. I just got to put it out there. Nonito's left hook was too good. Inoue's hands are too far down. They're never at home. The blueprint's out, you guys. Nobody's ever. The pieces are coming together, right? They grab pieces from every fight, right? Mm-hmm. And now it looks like Timothy Bradley gave us the blueprint. Cardenas, is that his name?
Yeah, well, Cardenas we can say, but
Cardenas. See, it's a little earlier, so I'm gonna be up, Miguel.
Yeah, you're wired up.
Cardenas. Damn it, I'll get it later.
You guys don't have a store like that? There's actually a supermarket store, like a Spanish supermarket.
Oh yeah. No, that's here. He stamped the blueprint for Timothy Bradley. He stamped it. So he just fucked up. But that was the inexperience of being one time. We'll get into that too.
All right, fantastic. Well, the first one, again, like I said, we're going to go in chronological order, starting with Friday's card. And the first main fight of that card is Teofimo Lopez taking on Arnold Barboza Jr. You and I talked about it over the weekend. We had text or prior to the weekend, which one of these fights or fighters has the best chance of pulling off the upset. And I was convinced it was going to be Barboza, although I did kind of predicted that, the Teofimo was going to come up with the victory. Not like that, though. Not like that. I did think it was going to be a little bit different. But ultimately, we saw the old Teofimo. We saw that guy back. Yes, it was still the showman, right, coming into the ring with that LA or NYPD vest, right, still putting on a show for everybody. I got to say, as soon as that card started, specifically with that fight, I had a bit of nostalgia running through my veins. Number one, hearing Jim Lampley on the mic, that was like, oh, damn, it was kind of old school, right? And when Barboza and Lopez,
Tarver.
Oh, and Tarver. Well, I mean, Tarver was he on HBO ever? Like,
was it? I thought he was.
Was he? Shit. Okay.
I think he was for a little bit, bro. Tarver did. Yeah. I think. And you know what? Steroids got him kicked out. Remember when he did his heavyweight run? I bet you that's. Yeah, it's when he got popped for steroids. The HBO was like, well, can't be on here anymore. can't let you. I think he was though. So it was just cool hearing two older guys that. Yeah, it gave us the HBO days, right? Yeah, because Tarver for sure was a guest appearance on HBO many times, but I think he did hold a job there briefly before his dirty test in the heavyweight division.
Well, when Teofimo and Barboza kind of came face to face and the camera angle was kind of low, you can see, Times Square behind him. It kind of at that point it was still daylight, right? So the sun was still up. It kind of reminded me of like the Caesar's Palace days, like seeing the Caesar's Palace casino in the back, right, on that outdoor pavilion that I never got a chance to visit. But it was just cool seeing that. I was like, oh, this is the setting is cool. I don't know if I can say the same about the fans. Quite frankly, it seemed kind of, and again, because it was outdoors, the sound of the audience or whoever fans were there tends to just go up and disappear, right? It doesn't get contained in an arena. So there were a couple of times where I'm like, damn, this crowd sounds kind of dead. But back to the fight itself, Teofimo did what he did, right? He basically outclassed Barbosa bad. I was expecting a little more anger out of Barbosa, a little more urgency. The fight was slowly slipping away. Every so often he'd go back to his corner and kind of do like a little thing, and I'm like, "No, dude, you didn't win that round, man. What the hell?" And I was expecting a much better game plan from Barbosa, and he was completely shut out. He wasn't able to get Teofimo cornered up against the ropes, cut off the ring at all. It looked like just the speed, man. The speed difference was crazy. Like and they'll say it all the time, and it's just another cliche in boxing, but it's true. There are levels to this thing. Holy hell, did Teofimo really show he was on a completely different level than Barbosa? And I was really looking forward to this fight. I considered this one the main event, the true main event, because of how much more competitive I expected it to be than the other two fights, and it ended up being just as one-sided. Holy shit! So, Teofimo left me with my mouth like wide open with this one, like my jaw to the ground. I was like, "Damn, the old Teofimo's back." Now, this was with his pops back in his corner, mind you, because he did leave the Reynosos or whatnot. So, do we have to admit maybe we were wrong? Maybe his pops, has what it takes to get Teofimo now to the next level. What did you see in that fight, and what did you think of his performance?
Yeah, you took. I think everyone's been saying, right? There's levels. It's the easiest definition of what we're seeing in the ring, right? Because we did have two guys with extremely good records, right? Barbosa undefeated, I believe, over 30 something victories, and Teofimo being one of the best in the world, being on the pound for pound rankings at one point. Is he currently on, or is he off now, Lopez?
Wow, I don't think he's on, at least not according to ESPN's. Maybe Ring
Nice.
Magazine's has a different list, but I don't think he's on ESPN's. No.
Being a two-time undisputed or ring champ, the Ring Magazine should fix that,
True.
especially after this performance, because we can say that there was levels, but there was still significant fights in Barbosa's career here lately. Petraza being one of them, Catterall being another one, and then Jose Ramirez. He shined. He did good, man. The guy showed up. So yes, he had 27 maybe other opponents that were right? That maybe got him to that little undefeated record might have been padded. He had three very good fighters on that resume that put him in a good position for this fight versus Lopez. Unfortunately, none of those guys are pound for pound ex-fighters, and Lopez is. And that's
Right.
the level that we've seen. We've seen it jump from top 10 to top 10 in the world. And there's a difference there. You see? So that's all I seen in that night. No knock to Barbosa. He made it to the big stage. He got his name under the lights. He got his moment, right? And he also has three excellent fights against top 10 contenders in the junior welterweight division that he'll never have to be ashamed of when he gets older, right? You can watch those fights on a replay. So with that being said, this was Lopez's night. This was like I said, this was a straight resurrection. Dude, Junior was in love with the way he was fighting. I mean, the showmanship works when you have the skills, right? Man, I won't knock a man that does an ollie shuffle when he's pitching a shutout, right?
Yeah.
It's just he deserves every moment that he has at that point. The defense, we're not talking two punches, we're talking four. There was four shots at a time coming. He slip, dip, duck. It was a thing of beauty. Lopez definitely back in the picture as far as, not just some how were we describing him maybe at before? Just a guy waiting to cash it in, waiting for a big. No way. Don't play with him. Don't play with Lopez still. He's still in his prime. He still has his reflexes. Power, probably not, but he'll box your ears off. He'll smack the shit out of you. He doesn't need power. So definitely into Lopez right now. That was a great performance by him and his dad. They were complimenting the dad on his instructions. So all around win for Team Lopez and their fans this weekend.
And he didn't come away unscathed either. He did have a couple of bruises, so he did take some shots. It
That's
wasn't like
right.
he came out completely clean. Barboza was able to land something on him, and Teo proved that he can take the punch, right? And this is something that he does take. He does have a tendency to get hit, but by and large, he comes out relatively unscathed, and he doesn't take too many. He's never in his most recent fights. It's not where he gets like super stunned or anything where he's like, oh shit, where he's like rocked. But he came away with just a couple of cuts, nothing major. And I definitely enjoyed his performance. It really set the table for what was supposed to have been a better, much better, more action-packed evening. But he did his part. He came in and he did his part. Now, that being said, he has said that he wants to move up to 147 to chase Boots. But before we get to that, what were you going to say?
He saved the promotion. He saved the night, right?
Mm-hmm.
His fight was the best fight out of besides Raleigh pulling off an upset, and we'll get into that. I think Teofimo showed way more skill than Raleigh. Matter of fact, we can fight them two now, but obviously, in my opinion, he showed way more skill in his fight. But in the promotions, these guys are dead, man. We talked about Ryan not being the same. We seen it. We talked about Haney kind of looked like he was a little nervous this whole time, very quiet, very humble, I guess is a better word. Jose Ramirez looked like he never wanted to be there. Sorry. I think he liked the numbers that they threw at him, but really wasn't interested in the fight. So everybody was a downer, basically, except for the guy wearing the how do you say it? The mask, the Mexican wrestling?
I think it was the Santo.
So,
That's who it was. Yeah,
okay.
that silver mask. Yeah.
Yeah. So he had the
mask, the luchador.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, he had those masks on. The the face off or whatever they did on that round table where he pissed off Haney, and he was like, "Shut up!" Like he's fucking yeah. He
like,
made it fun.
Just stop, bro. Just fucking stop.
And then he tried to throw Garcia in there. He's like, "He whipped your ass. Didn't you whip his ass? You whipped his ass." That was hella funny. He was like, "Why are you trying to throw Ryan in there? He didn't even say shit. Ryan was just there tripping on his fucking doping, eh?" Right. Love it. Go ahead, Miguel. I don't want to ruin it.
No, it was good. But on that note, Teofimo did mention that he wanted to go up to 140. Now, Barboza, for as bad as he looked, because it was against elite Teofimo, he will get another shot. He will get another crack because he has earned it. And considering Teofimo is leaving the division, or at least it sounds like he might get a shot a lot sooner with Teofimo not in the picture at 140. Teofimo saying he wanted to move up to 147 to go after Boots Ennis. Now, damn, that's quite. He's not just going up. He's going up to fight the top dude at 147. That fight with Ennis and Stanionis was a unification fight, and it was for the vacant Ring Magazine belt, which is basically the lineal title. So he's going after the man who's the man at 147. How do you see that fight going? Is he biting too much more?
Big time legacy fight for him. Because I do like the fact that Lomachenko, Josh Taylor, and now Boots Ennis are all the guys that he took on for titles. If this does happen, that's a legendary list, right? Because Josh Taylor, they were all undisputed. They all had the ring belts. He ain't lying when he said I'm going after the best, right? There's not a lot of fighters that you can yap about the 50-0 all you want. Do you ever stat like that? You know what I mean? Like who would it be? We gonna go back and see who are the undisputeds, I guess you would say, during Floyd's time, right? When he was making his run at 50-0, which he loves to hang his hat on. But no, this is big for him. Only the diehards will give him credit because these other guys, besides Lomachenko, Taylor and Ennis won't be as known in the general public as they should be, right? So he won't get the credit. But I think with the diehards, we'll know that Lopez was for real if he pulls this off. That was a real move that he did there, taking on Ennis first. Definitely not looking for the money.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. And what do you think? What do you think his chances are? Let's say he goes up, and would it be a good idea to try out 147 first before he goes directly to Ennis, or is fuck it, just move up the way he did? I don't remember if he did it. No, I think he did fight a couple of times at 140 before he went after Josh Taylor. So maybe it's going to be the same roadmap.
Yeah, that is hard to say. I'm not in the camp to see where they're at mentally. If they want a few more fights, or they only want two more fights, right? Because then you try to get undisputed, and then the winner of whoever's out there, Pacquiao and
Mm,
Barrios most likely.
mm,
What a great fight too. Lopez and Pacquiao would have been a great fight. That would be a huge fight. Um, so Lopez has, and it's just a great matchup for Lopez because man, he's not big, right?
mhm. Yeah.
Ennis and Pacquiao, is he pound for pound? Come on,
Oh man.
Turkey.
Yeah.
Come on, Turkey. Get it done.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
That is
Ennis and Pacquiao and back to back? He might
hmm
be pound for pound after that day.
hmm and
Um,
then just like that, the welterweight division is back. Just like
yeah.
that, right? After being such a like on the downside. It's and we've said it many times before. It's all cycles. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it sucks. It just recently kind of sucked. Now it's like, oh shit, and Ennis is right in the middle of it to benefit as much as possible. He's got the belts. He's like, all right, y'all, now y'all come to me with Pacquiao over here maybe and Teofimo over here. That seems like it'll shake up the division hella. I'm hoping Teofimo takes a couple of maybe one at least fight at 147 to kind of gauge things out, and then go directly at Ennis. Damn, whether or not he beats Ennis is another story. But if he gets that fucking strap, man, he
The
basically gets the position.
yeah, the big question here, Miguel, is money. How much money did they really pay? We hear all the talk about they all got paid big money, right?
Yes.
You hear about Turkey's the rumors of what he's paying, but we're not seeing any solid evidence of what these guys are actually getting. I mean, if they gave him 3 million, 4 million, something around in this ballpark, hell yeah, he's gonna take another fight before he goes to Ennis, because they're making good money late in their career when he probably didn't think he was going to be there right now. You know what I'm saying? A year ago, Lopez probably didn't see himself in this position. So I think it depends on how much Turkey's really overpaying for these guys. I say overpaying because I don't know how they made their money back. We're going to see. We'll see what pay-per-view did, but with them, the way they closed off the tickets for this event, they were basically going on pay-per-view alone, and we've seen recently, besides one fight, everything has been under 500,000 buys, and it seemed like there was some pretty big checks on this fight. At least three of them were big.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say this: one of the things that I guess give more credit to is not and mind you, I'm not trying to knock on Floyd here because he's undefeated, but when somebody loses and then comes back and then makes a comeback like that, the way Teofimo is doing, losing the lightweight title, then moving up to 140 and still doing all this stuff, I give those guys much more credit. And it's just maybe it's my own thing, who was it, Shane Mosley, right, losing to Forrest, and then uh, fucking the rematch, right? And then it's like, no, fuck it. He's stubborn as shit. He's like, no, I got to fight this dude. And then he loses again, goes up against Winky, loses, says, fuck it. I got to get this back. I give him much more credit. Even Teofimo losing the way he did against Cambosos and then coming back, that it's like, to me, that's a sign of a true fucking champion. Like, damn, how does he come back from that? Because some guys don't, like, we'll say Trinidad, that when he
Right,
lost to what's his name, to Bernard, he just wasn't the same. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Vargas, when they lost to Trinidad, it's like, damn it, it's just those when they can't come back from those things, it's like there's you can see it, right? It's obvious. And seeing Teofimo where he's at now compared to where he was after that loss against Cambosos is like, oh shit, he's the real deal. He's the real deal. I guess what I'm trying to say. Okay, so that brings us to the second fight of the, I guess the second. I don't know. They didn't want to say, they didn't want to call one or the other the main event. They just called them the three main events, which again, in my opinion, the Teofimo and Barbosa fight was the real main event. But Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. Well, I don't know. I think those guys set a record for like the fewest punches thrown in their careers. I believe that's what I read. Um, It was a track. It was a track star, right? That's pretty much what it was. These guys, and I can see to some degree why Haney was so hesitant to exchange after that, serious ass whooping and being away from the ring for as long as he was, a year now, a little over a year, right? Because I think they fought in April of 2024, him and Ryan. I mean, he came a little bit hesitant, right? And that's understandable, but there's a reason they chose Jose Ramirez, and it's because the guy's not, that big of a puncher, at least not at 147. We're going to beat. This is like their first fight at 147, and seeing where Jose Ramirez what is in his career right now, kind of just going through the motions, saw how many zeros on the check, and said, okay, fool, I'll get back in the training camp. And there's a reason they chose him. They chose him for that opponent, for that spot as an opponent against Haney, and even then Haney didn't look like the old Haney. That was a little concerning. They got the perfect opponent for him to look good, and he didn't look that great. It was constant moving. Yes, he did connect with combinations. Yet he did stop, but and this is the one fight that I was sure that was going to go the full 12 rounds. But again, I didn't expect it to go like that with so few punches, so few action, so little action. I I kind of expected this from Jose Ramirez. I didn't expect it like this from Haney. That's the major disappointment, is that it didn't come out this way. And I know even Lampley said it in the fight, that saying that Larry Merchant has said before: win this one, look good on the next one. This is the important one. Just win this one, and then it doesn't matter how bad you look, as long as you win it, you'll look better on the next one. Um, is Haney has Haney changed? Is that ass whooping at the hands of Ryan, has that changed them for good, or are we going to see maybe the old Haney come next whenever the next fight happens?
Well, we won't know until the next fight happens, to be honest with you, right? Because look, going into this fight, you guys, it seemed like the Ryan Garcia fight was already signed, and there was rumors that these men were going to make $40 million on that night. I don't know if they were splitting 40 million or if they were making 40 million a piece. But you guys, that's some serious fucking money, right? Who wants to lose 40 million? So, yeah, he played cautious. Yeah, he just went for the victory. And when he seen that Ramirez was doing little to nothing on trying to get a victory himself, well, let's just count punches now. I'm winning the round, right? I don't like it, but I understand it. He's coming off of a defeat where he was dropped, I believe, 5 times.
Oh shit, was it 5? Jesus, okay.
That's it. I thought that was a lot too, but it's kind of like maybe some of them weren't counted. You know what? I think we're talking about the ones that the ref kept going, no. It was like, I don't know, bro. It looked like a left hook landed, but all right, whatever. He's already been dropped 3. So yeah, he was dropped a lot, right? Multiple times with the Garcia fights. So he comes in a little bit scared, nervous. Is his chin good? Oh, let me tell you. He came in nervous. He left on top of the world. Him and his father left on top of the world Saturday night. Yeah, their fight sucked. But guess what? They weren't lying. They weren't lying. Ryan's a fucking cheat. Ryan looked like shit. The fight after getting caught dirty. Sorry, bro. Sorry. They win. You lose. He see how his losses say 0 and Ryan's now says 1. The universe will always make it right, bro. It would always make. He was fucking cheating. He was cheating. He got popped. And all that shit talking that Ryan and the internet did to Devin Haney and his father, now they're laughing in your face because your boy looked like shit. So Haney won big Saturday night. Yeah, and this is another win for him. Give him the villain role. Give him the pussy villain who doesn't want to fight role. You're still paying the money, and now you're paying to watch him lose. So they won that on that angle too. Because guess what, people? You were booing him when he walked in the arena. So fuck it, he threw a shitty fight, and now you hate him more. See you at the next fight.
But you think people will pay to see that, considering what they saw in that fight, as much running as he did? Are they going to be like,
Miguel? Yeah. We all know that he's not the first runner in boxing, right? Sure. Pernell Whitaker ran his fucking ass off. People scream to this day he's the greatest. He beat Chavez's ass All of the above,
Well, but how
right?
many pay-per-views was he in? I mean, that didn't equate to him being a pay-per-view
That
boxer.
didn't stop him from being pound for pound, though.
No, I know. But I mean, is that what Haney like? You think that matters more to Haney or the pockets, the
Well,
bank?
I can lean on Floyd too, as far as people saying he's boring as shit. I know there was many
Well,
people
he
used to.
robbed the bank. He totally robbed the fucking bank.
No, but they used to say he was boring.
Mhm,
Yet he has how many pay-per-view records?
mhm.
Um, I believe that. I also think Whitaker was maybe a little bit babied for that Chavez fight. They didn't want to really expose Whitaker too much, right? That's why he didn't get a lot of the bigger fights. If you look at his championship run with Buddy McGirt, with Rafael Pineda, I don't even know who the fuck that is. Greg Haugen. They like he has some weak ass title shots,
Mhm.
right? Where Chavez was taking on like Roger Mayweather and Edwin Rosario and Jose Luis Ramirez. A lot tougher opponents moving up. But either way, I don't want to get on. I know Whitaker fans hate me. I hate Whitaker too. Rest in peace, though, bro. Um, Haney. So Haney has some bad fans now. They have some guys that hate him. I believe me. If Haney fights Teofimo Lopez, they're all watching. If Haney fights Ennis, if Haney fights the winner of Barrios Pacquiao, if Haney fights anybody besides who's that one guy? Sergio Martin. Who's the dude from Spain?
Oh,
Sandor.
Yeah,
Martin Sandor. Don't fight that guy. They're not coming, Miguel.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can guarantee you they're not going to come to that fight. But any of the other guys I named, I can guarantee you they're going to
It
buy.
was proven before with that purse bid, so don't fight that. I'm sure no one gives two fucks about that. Clearly.
Yeah. Don't fight Skull either. Don't move it. No one's buying that fight.
Yeah.
So, yes, his marketability is limited, but if you put him in with the headliner, they hate this guy. It seems like they hate him more. And his dad's going to continue to sell. No, they won. They won so big. Oh, they left laughing. You know what? Raleigh, and I'll get into it. Raleigh needs. I'm going to connect it because it was the Haneys. Raleigh really needs to thank Bill Haney and Devin Haney for them going after Ryan in that final press conference on Wednesday. It was either Wednesday or Thursday when fucking Bill was like, "You're dirty. You don't even look the same. You have titties now. He's all, you're
don't sound
fat.
the same. Ain't
You
that
don't
crazy?
sound the same."
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. And Ryan's just sitting there, humbled as fuck, thinking in his head, he might be right. I don't have my left hook. He sees it in the training, bro. I don't know. You guys, I don't know where these dudes see it and it starts fucking with them mentally, but it's been way too many times. A boxer gets caught dirty, the next fight looks like shit. Just way too much evidence out there to say that they don't have a mental edge going into the fight when they know they're juicing.
Mhm. Or a mental disadvantage when they know they're not on the juice.
And vice versa. That's right.
Exactly. That
That's right.
so without jumping ahead, because we already know Raleigh, beat Ryan. For Haney specifically, are we looking at a Haney Raleigh type of situation? And we'll get to Raleigh and Ryan in a little bit, but where does this leave? Well, I guess let me ask you this before we get to that. Could Ramirez have done anything differently to kind of change that? It looked like he was just going through the motions. He wasn't cutting off the ring. Where we already know that the fire isn't really under Ramirez. Could he have done anything differently to, like, at least, I don't know, slow down Haney to some degree?
Well, yeah, cut the ring off, go after the body, do what Chavez used to do to boxers, hit him in the hip, right? Get on the other side of the referee, go a little bit lower to the hip, not the balls, but try to work that leg so they can't move, right? You're trying to stop them from moving. No, there's things you can do. That's why you can't really knock, go, oh, he ran the whole fight. People act like these guys are on a track meet or something. Like, someone can literally get in front and never get caught. No, you can catch someone in the boxing ring if you know what the fuck you're doing. It's if you choose to catch them or not. And that goes for both fights. I'll talk about the other one later. But there's choices in the ring. Do you want to cut the ring off? Do you want to maybe take a few punches to bump a guy on the ropes and then fucking tear into his shit? Tear into him like a heavy bag. He's not even punching. Bring it. They choose to count punches. They choose to follow. They choose to win by rounds.
All right. So on Haney's side, and again, we'll get into more detail with Ryan and Raleigh. But where does this put Haney? After the fight, there's a whole bunch of videos of him after Raleigh beats Ryan, where he gets on the apron of the ring and he's like, Ryan, what happened? What happened? Trying to like to some degree kind of call him out, but another degree giving like, dude, you just fucking cost me a fucking big ass payday.
40 million.
Yeah. So Haney's not going to get that on his next fight if it's not Ryan, of course. So to some degree, you mentioned he won. Yeah, he kind of won, but he kind of lost because now he's not going to get that big mega payday
It
with Ryan.
doesn't matter, Miguel. He got his manhood back. We might not think it. The rest of the haters that have been drilling him this whole time might not believe it, but I guarantee you, him and his father got their mojo back in their career. Ryan proved he was a fucking cheat. That's all there is to it. Ryan looked like shit. His power looked like shit. His left hook, what you one-dimensional fuck? What the hell was that? Did you see how ugly some of those right hands were, Miguel? He threw them like, hey, hey. What the? I was like, oh my God, bro. The kid was so out of his mind. He was so done. Like, he's lucky Rolly Romero's his friend. He really is. He's lucky Romero played cool with him the whole time, and even during the fight, he didn't really press him when Garcia didn't have any. He was already checked out mentally. He checked out in that second round, man. As soon as he felt that power, he tried a few big left hooks, doesn't land, and he just goes to shit mentally. Yeah, no. I'm telling you right now, Haney's back on top of the world mentally. He's back. I think you're going to see a different kid in his next fight.
That being said, who? Like, who do you think that? I mean, there's plenty of opponents, right? But I mean, obviously we said no, Sandor Martin, right? We already said that. But Raleigh or not? Because I mean, again, we'll get to it shortly. But Raleigh said not even that.
Raleigh, I would say that's up to Turkey on what he's paying for that fight. Because like you said, man, it is kind of a bummer. You go from a $40 million payday to Raleigh fucking Romero, right? So look, Miguel, I'm gonna keep saying it. And I don't even know if it's confirmed, but if I was Haney, I wait for the winner of Barrios and Pacquiao just to throw my name in that hat. Look, he has some pay-per-views behind him, right? He's been a lineal champ. He has reasons why he should get the shot at the winner of that fight. So because Boots, whenever they say that Turkey is the one that said he wanted to see Boots and Lopez, isn't it almost like gold that fight's gonna happen? I was wondering if Lopez was gonna get in trouble for saying stuff like that. He was like, "Well, Turkey said I'm fighting Boots Ennisness, so bring it. I guess I'll fight him." Like it was just like, well, I guess that's the game plan. He's gonna fight this guy, so I'm kind of leaving Boots and him off the table. It looks like them two are gonna be facing each other. Garcia obviously lost. Raleigh it's such a big financial drop. I think if Pacquiao wins that WBC title, if I'm Devin Haney, I go after Manny. And hey, Manny might just be as interested in Devin Haney seeing all right, you had a decent performance against Ramirez, but you had a shit show in the fight before that. So maybe Manny even gets interested in a Devin Haney call out,
Yeah, because Pacquiao doesn't let Devin Haney off the hook the way Ramirez does.
Right.
And of course that's considering he still has the reflexes, and I'm sure he still has the power. And more often than not, it's said that boxers, even older boxers, the last thing that they lose is their power. Yeah, their reflexes tend to go, and their reaction time tend to go, and whatnot, but their legs tend to go. But the power is still there. And if Devin is still sort of shy about letting his hands go, as we saw specifically in this fight against Ramirez, maybe that proves to be a much more closer fight than just looking at the age and stuff like that, right? So let's go ahead and talk about Ryan and Raleigh, because good Lord, first off, the entrances, and it happened a couple of these other ones, right? The entrances coming in the Batmobile kind of thing, right? And Raleigh Romero coming in with some, I don't know, I forgot what the hell kind of car. He has some old classic car or something like that. They made the effort to make it feel kind of special, right? And even Ryan previously said that he was going to have something in store for us as far as his entrance. He comes into with the Batmobile, right? It's cool. It's kind of cool. I think I don't know if they did it with other fighters. I don't think they did it with most, but seeing him come in with that was kind of tight. I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. He comes into the ring. The first round kind of goes off without too much action, but that second round, I believe, is where he gets dropped, right? we've seen the comparisons. If you want to watch that, there's a lot of comparisons online of their sparring session where Raleigh catches them with that same left. If you remember, that's how Luke Campbell dropped Ryan, and almost in the exact same way. He throws that left, and Ryan kind of like thinks it's coming here, so he tries to parry it, and it comes behind the glove. Exact same thing with Luke Campbell, and down he goes. And then that's it. And then he fucking shuts down. At that point, he's like, "Oh crap!" And mind you, Raleigh kind of got tagged in that same round. As soon as he
Yeah.
drops, as soon
Yes.
as Ryan drops, right, he gets up and he's like, "All right, let's go." And Raleigh kind of gets close to him, and he's like ready to throw something. And then Ryan catches him with a fucking like a quick left hook that just snaps his head back. It's like, oh shit! It checks him real fast, and he's like, "Okay, I'm not gonna go in here stupid. Let me think about it." And then the fight kind of progressed from there. But it was obvious that Ryan was not the same after that. After that fucking left, down he goes again for the third time in his career, I think it is at this point, and then that's it. And then we don't get the same. It's not the same chin, right? We've talked about it before. His voice sounded differently. He looked differently, right? That anger, that aggression wasn't there as much from this fight to his last fight with Haney, and it was a different Ryan that was in there. And later on we saw him, crying in the car, kind of doing his thing, right? And I don't know. I don't like it when cameras try to catch that. I like that for it to be private and let the guy cry on his own. But it was obvious that it was a different fucking Ryan. Um, Not to say that Rolly put on the fucking performance, the best performance ever, but it sure as hell was his best one to date because he needed that, right? It looked like he was a little concerned with that left hook too. Ryan, you know what? On top of everything else that we've talked about, as far as Ryan's voice changing, his aggression changing, does his speed look a little slower, or was I tripping? Because it looked like every single fucking time it was Rolly catching that fucking left hook or with the whatever with the right, and I was like, damn, he can't seem to catch Raleigh with that fucking left hook at all. And he was able to read it. He saw it coming every single time. What do you think about that?
Maybe you can say slower, or you can say he started becoming too one-dimensional, where he was not setting up the left hook, so Romero was basically looking for it and catching it in that sense. Now, when they exchanged, he did catch him with the left hook. That was right after the knockdown. That was during an exchange, and that's probably what Garcia forgot about during this fight when he just went into panic mode, and it very well could have been panic mode, right? That he had so much pressure on him to look good when he got dropped. He fucking the breathing went through the roof, and he lost his way in that ring. Either way, I really don't care. That was a thing for me to see. I liked Raleigh's. Let me tell you, that 1800 would have had some money on it. I'm so fucking. I was on call. You know damn well I would have been in Reno. The Kentucky Derby was even on Saturday. Like it
Oh
was
no shit, was
all
it?
yeah.
Damn.
3 fights, 3 days, 3 fights in the Kentucky Derby. Like I was so mad. Plus 1800. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Lopez would have killed my parlay though. I know
Oh
I
yeah.
would have done a I know I would have done a bunch of parlays, but my $20 one probably Lopez would have killed it. Damn. Damn, damn, damn. I had it fucking Barbosa winning that shit. But either way, when I knew Raleigh was gonna win? Nah, man. Raleigh Romero walked to the fucking stadium. You don't remember that?
No, no, no.
He
I mean, I.
walked he walked there, bro. For some reason, PBC, I guess, didn't have a hotel room for this
Oh,
kid.
that's right. That's right. No, no.
Yeah.
Was it PBC or was it Turkey? I thought it was
I mean,
Turkey. No,
excuse
no.
me. Yeah, that
Oh, okay,
dirt.
okay.
Sorry, Al. Turkey.
That's all right. Let's throw him under the bus. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I know, right? Fucking,
I,
I haven't said anything in a while about. No, it was Turkey Ali Sheik.
yeah, right.
So when he's walking, I'm like, dude, that is the hardest shit ever. That's like Jay-Z. Remember when Jay-Z took the subway to his concert? There's like a
No.
famous video, yeah, where
Oh,
Jay-Z from his house goes down to one of his concerts. They're just walking and
oh
taking the
shit.
subway. So that's what I thought. Romero was like, dude, that sounds so tight. Then you find out, nah, they were dicking this kid the whole way through. Didn't give him his gloves that he wanted. Didn't put his money
Yeah.
into escrow. No hotel room. Like, come, what? Bro, I don't know, man. That's weird. That's weird. That's not I don't think that's a coincidence that all of those things happened, right?
No.
Um, so, and I don't even think Turkey has to speak on it. I just think from here on out, people that are not in the circle need to really watch out because looks like there's dirty games being played even with the guy who's trying to save boxing. Or maybe he comes out with an explanation on why Raleigh Romero was dicked around so much this weekend. You know, one thing that I noticed about this weekend that I want to bring up real fast because we're talking about Turkey. You see how everyone's making jokes about him holding the fighter's hands?
No, I haven't seen that.
You
Like
haven't seen
what
that
in the ring or
with
what?
Canelo. I think with Canelo, they've caught them holding. And then when I say caught, it's not like they're doing anything. It's a friendship thing in Saudi Arabia. I guess the men,
Mm.
when they're friends, they hold hands. I don't know. It ain't me. It's them. So fuck them. Fuck. It is what it is. Didn't mean it like that. It is what it is. So they hold hands. Well, Terence Crawford and him were holding hands last night or Saturday night when he brought him
Mm.
up to Canelo. And then so there's been all these like little reels out there about him. Why does this dude always want to hold men's hands? I was just wondering if that gets under Turkey's skin because of their beliefs, and homosexuality is not liked over there. You know what I'm saying? And then he's just all over the internet with all these love songs and I want my girlfriend to look. There's one that says, "I want my girlfriend to look at me how Turkey looks at Terence Crawford," and it kind of does look like he's stuck on Crawford. You know what I mean? But it's not in that way. But I'm just saying because Turkey, because their beliefs are so strong over there. If that's really getting, if he's getting pissed off about some of the shit that's on the internet right now about him,
I
you
don't
don't
know.
want
I haven't
that.
noticed it
You
too
don't want
often.
that.
Like I don't see that. Huh?
You don't want that rumor, right? That's not a
No.
rumor in Saudi Arabia that you want floating around, bro.
Right, exactly. Because hey, if he is that, it's gonna be closeted like a motherfucker, right? So to have that out and about like a motherfucker on social media and stuff like that, like that's a death nail for those guys, dude.
And
Like,
I absolutely do not think it's that. I believe it's
yeah, it's a
Americans.
culture.
It's
It's a
our, yeah, it's a
yeah,
cultural thing and it's Americans' humor. It's everybody else's humor that's making this a joke when to them it's nothing big at all. Yeah, no. In no way was I trying to think that maybe he's in love with Terence Crawford or no, 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 no. I was saying is he getting mad about how people are kind of disrespecting him just because he's doing something that they do over there all the time. Like that's not an issue with them. Because that is a rumor you don't want. You don't want the prince to
yeah.
even question that, right? Like, I'm just tired. I'm a little tired of you, and I think I'm gonna take this out to get rid of you. How about that? And
Yeah,
you're fucking gone, just like that. And I'm saying fired, people, fired,
yeah, right.
not out,
Let go,
not
yeah.
not
Although,
that one.
if that was the reason, we might not know. That's just how it is. I'm just saying.
Just
Uh,
saying, I don't want that
His Excellency,
rumor.
His Excellency could be like, "Look, I friend zone Eddie Hearn for you. Okay, this is how it's gonna happen. Let's go ahead and take a picture of us holding hands, because make Eddie Hearn jealous." But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I mean, I don't know. I don't see. I mean, I've seen it once or twice, but I don't see it. Like I haven't read the comments at all, so I don't know if like how many comments have been talking
Right.
about that. But yeah, I mean, I've seen that. I've seen it in other cultures too, like Jewish cultures, I think also. So it isn't something that's completely foreign per se. It's just not something that we're fucking used to.
Right. Right.
Um,
Could have swore mobsters used to kiss on both sides, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, they're just like I kiss my pops to this day. I
Right.
say good morning, dad, and
Right.
I kiss my pops all the fucking time. That's just how we do it. So Raleigh getting kind of pretty screwed, at least outside of the ring. In the ring, he proves it. He's like, fuck this. This is no fucking fluke, 147. Raleigh looked fucking stacked. And he usually looks, he's a big motherfucker as it is. He's a big dude. But man, he was able to take the shots right. Maybe 148 even though his height probably isn't helping him at 147, but his stockiness most certainly has. You can see the strength in his legs and stuff. And he was able to take everything and Ryan was able to dish out to him. Um, he shut down Ryan hardcore. And I saw a recent clip, and I'm not sure if I sent to you, of Rolly saying, "I'm glad that I didn't knock him out, because I don't want fans or critics to say, oh, it was a lucky punch, you caught him, kind of thing. It was, no, no, no. I systematically whooped his ass for 12 fucking rounds so people can see this is how I dominated his ass, not no lucky fucking knockdown or knockout." But obviously the knockdown helped as far as the scorecards go. And back to the topic of Boots Ennis, right? It was said that this fight with Raleigh and Ryan was going to be for the regular WBA welterweight title. We have now Raleigh winning the fight, pretty much puts him in line for a fight with Ennis. Now, whether or not he wins that one is another conversation entirely, but he just got himself another lottery ticket, another fucking boom. And I think to some degree, he kind of is okay with that because they had asked him, I think it was Mike Coppinger in the ring, asked him like, all right, well, it was supposed to have been Ryan and Devin now, but now that's not the case. Well, I mean, it might not. For all we know, they might make it anyway. But when Raleigh was asked about it, he's like, yeah, no, just let them have their fucking, let them have their rematch, whatever. Like he doesn't give two fucks about that. I'm sure a much better, maybe I don't know how much of a difference of a payday is going to be, obviously with somebody like Ryan or Devin as opposed to Boots Ennis, but that puts him in line for a fight with Boots Ennis. Maybe Teofimo leapfrogs him, we don't know. Maybe you mentioned earlier Teofimo and Raleigh, but that definitely shakes up the welterweight division quite a bit. What do you think should be next for Raleigh?
It he's got to put all the opponents on the board and take the right one. I mean, I wouldn't want to see him in the ring with the Ennis. Look, Miguel, I gotta say that yes, I love that Raleigh's out there saying he's glad he did it in 12 rounds and not one lucky punch, but it was still one lucky night, right? Everything had to be lined perfectly for Raleigh Romero to win this fight. And what that was kid came in dirty in the first fight. In this fight, he wasn't dirty, and it wasn't the same kid. That's what happened on Saturday night with Ryan Garcia. And the only reason why we can say that is because Ryan looked so terrible through the whole thing. I'm telling you, Ryan had this on his mind the whole time. That's why we kind of called it the week before, Miguel. That look at the upset, look at the decision. He's not, and dude, and Bill Haney and Devin, they finally nailed him on it in the final press conference. I love how Haney went after him strong. You didn't see Ryan go, "Shut up, motherfucker." He called him a little bitch and a big bitch, but he never said no to the allegations. He never said, "No, you guys are fucking lying. I was never on that shit. I'm fucking clean." Why didn't he start doing his monkey fucking uh,
Grunting.
grunting right then and there? Because he wasn't juiced. He wasn't out of his fucking mind like he was the time before. And I don't know if that's what the PED did to him or if that's just him mentally because he knew he was on a PED. Because that PED doesn't seem like it was regular steroids. That seemed like it was taking, what was it, taking water weight while leaving muscle, something like that. So it's not your steroid that would make you want to go through a wall.
Yeah.
It was Ryan's mentality of knowing that he was on that motherfucking steroid or PED that wanted to make him go through the wall. And when he didn't have that, he was just lost. He looked lost at the face-off. He looked lost at the press conference. He looked lost at the weigh-ins. The kid just wasn't there mentally, and we seen it, what, 6 minutes, under 6 minutes into the fight, we seen him on his ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the third time in his career and three times with that left hook. It was just the one with Gervonta, it was a left to the body, and then with Luke and Rolly, it was a left upstairs. And even though it wasn't the PED that would make you want to run through the wall, do you think not having it what made him more susceptible to getting caught? Because in that fight with Devin in particular, when he dropped Devin came back and caught him with a left hook, and they kind of shook him up a little bit, and he was like, "All right, let's go." He like pounded his gloves. Here, I don't think. No, maybe unproven at 147, but I don't think Raleigh hits harder than Devin. Maybe he does.
Okay,
I know a lot of people are called Devin pillow hands, but at 147, I mean, they're not exactly knockout punchers, but he dropped him with that left.
um, that night, I had a real bad time with DAZN. That's when DAZN was freezing on me that night, big time. I'm really gonna have to go back and rewatch this fight because have you ever heard how many people say Devin was winning that fight?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And I just don't remember that. I thought this was Devin was behind the whole time. So I'm really gonna have to go because see, look, in the tank fight, he looked like shit, right? that's a top 10 guy. We're not talking contenders. We're talking the best of the best, and that's going to be Haney, who was an ex-champ, Tank, who's a champ, and Raleigh Romero, who's a 2-division champ going into this fight. He looks like shit in all 3. Right? Is that what we're being? Like he could have literally been down on the cards in all 3 of those fights. Yet it was the power in one of them that pulled him through. But oh wait, it's a dirty test. Now it's not even a real fight. It's actually a no contest.
Yeah, I think it was the knockdowns that saved him in that fight. Yeah.
Ryan might never be a champion. We don't even know who the real Ryan Garcia is. Now we're back to, is he the Ryan that quit in the Tank Davis fight, or is he going to be the crazy guy? Oh, because I got to think Ryan's bringing back the crazy character in his next fight. It's the only way he's going to sell a ticket. I got to think he's bringing that guy back. Tampered down, but he's definitely bringing that attitude back. We don't even know who Ryan is right now today. He might be a total bust, a total phony with 2 losses, 3 knockdowns, and the only thing you've ever done in the sport was actually taken away from you as a no contest.
Yeah, the only significant win he has in his career gets taken away because of a positive. And then on top of that, he came in heavy deliberately, so it's like the only
3
win
pounds
he
too.
can get, the only win, obviously it was overturned, but I mean at the time the only win that he gets credited with is tainted like a motherfucker, not just because of the weight, but also the positive test for PD.
And Miguel, it's just the times that we're in. I've never seen a fighter get a pass the way that this new boxing fan base, these new kids, gave Ryan Garcia a pass and kind of make Devin the villain. And I'll never forget that hook and all that bullshit that they're always posting. Is like, that wasn't 20 years ago, man. It was not like that. We didn't look at cheats as, oh yeah, you got test dirty, whatever, still landed the left hook. Coward ass shit.
Yeah.
Coward ass shit.
One of the things, and like there's a tendency to look at some of these guys and think like, oh man, I feel bad for this guy for XYZ reasons when I see Ryan cry, right? But I still think back to after he beat Devin, after the fight ended, and he jumps on the corners and he's like, does this like, oh, y'all thought I was crazy. It's like, yeah, dude, yeah, we still think you are, motherfucker. Like that, when I think of that, I'm like, yeah, I don't feel sorry for this motherfucker anymore. Like, no,
I don't.
That shit like he lost me so much. And then on top of everything else, talking about how he did this on purpose, right? So, okay, so Ryan, back to the drawing board, right? I mean,
he's soul searching.
Yeah, he's got to go digging for some shit. Raleigh puts himself in a situation where he's got himself a pretty nice, hefty payday. Whether or not he wins his next fight or not, but he has a belt. Now he's a 3-division champ at 35, 40, and 47, and that puts him in prime spot to really, I mean, shit, even if it's Manny, for Christ's sakes, it's like, all right, Manny, come and knock me the fuck out, but now I'm in a pay-per-view fight with Manny Pacquiao, which is, I mean, and then not to say that Manny would definitely win, because, he is at 46, of course, but
right.
At this point, at 147 pounds, Raleigh has this one fight at 147, it was against Ryan, but he puts himself in prime spot for a humongous fucking payday, whether it be with Devin or not, because they asked him, he's like, well, I don't know, let Devin and Ryan do their thing. Do you think that they're gonna force a Ryan and Devin rematch anyway?
No, it sounded like, if you listen when Devin Haney and his dad are going, Ryan, they're saying no to the face-off. What's up? I thought we're doing a face-off. It sounds like you hear someone go, no, the rematch is off. It sounds like you hear that. Yeah. And
no
then
shit,
that's
like the auto caught that or something? Somebody caught that?
Yeah. You can hear that. Probably in the I might have sent it to you, but listen real close. And someone walks up to the Haneys and says the rematch is off. So it looks like the rematch is off. I mean, I can't see them paying Ryan Garcia that kind of money and not knowing if he's actually a true fighter or not. Like, the cat's out of the bag. No one cares about your social media. Matter of fact, we have hella guys that are doing social media now. Social media is not that big anymore. He's had pay-per-view events that did not do as good as the Tank Davis one. So we'll see. That's why, bro, it was such a joke They called him a pound for pound champion. Jim Lampley did, and that's one thing I gotta say. Lampley did have a few hiccups. He was showing his age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was showing his age. It
I
was
want
kind
to
of
get to that a little bit later on, but yeah, don't forget that.
okay. Yeah, all right. So you did notice it though too. There was a
Yes,
few. All
yes, of
right.
course.
Yeah.
Calling Raleigh Romero, calling Raleigh Ramirez, and then
Yeah.
fucking like what's his name, Carpenter having to catch that. Yeah, yeah.
And then one time he said it was round 4, or he goes 4 rounds have been completed. We were in round 4, only 3 rounds had been completed. It was just like, oh man, is he old? How old is Jim? Jim's nodding out on.
He's in his early 70s, bro. At this point,
Yeah,
yeah. He's
yeah.
like, all right, yeah, just wake me up when the fight's over. In the middle of time.
Instantly too.
Yeah,
Instantly
he's like,
just out.
Let me mute my fucking mic, okay? Like, Jim, please. Uh,
He's got that grandpa alarm clock.
yeah, where you can just fucking fall asleep in a crowded ass Times Square with a bunch of people. That rumbling all of a sudden becomes a steady hum, and you're just like slowly nodding off. Yeah, yeah, but I want to get to that momentarily. But yeah, that puts I mean Raleigh in quite the position. Ryan, we don't know what the fuck's up with
So
him.
yeah, so long story short, I don't know if they're going to go to the rematch. There might not be any money. Look, it wasn't that big of a pay-per-view success the first time, right?
Mm.
Now there might not even be a market for the casuals. Yeah, the diehards probably show up to watch it, but the casuals, and that's who we need to make these fights to go into the big numbers. You need everyone to tune in, and I just don't think they have the momentum right now.
Okay, so on that note, we kind of sort of left it up in the air last week, but Andrew, did you ultimately end up purchasing the pay-per-view?
Yes, I purchased Friday night. I did not purchase Saturday night. Yeah.
Okay,
No,
all right.
I knew what Saturday night was going to be. It was going to be a 12-round decision. Now, I didn't know Skull was going to go out there and totally lay an egg the way he did, but I'm kind of convinced Canelo don't do anything with 12-round decisions. That's something I've been leaning on hard the last few predictions that we do with Canelo. Is like he doesn't knock people out. I'm done saying knockout because I used
Mm.
career, bro. Recently, he's been, it's been 12 rounds every time, so I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do. I knew it was a 12-round decision. I couldn't. The undercard just wasn't. You know, streaming is a little bit too good right now. I'm sorry. My stream came in better than my DAZN fucking feed did.
Have you got a new
The,
TV yet, though? You said if you
no,
want to get.
I
All right.
haven't. My wife keeps telling me to pull the trigger on it, and I haven't done that. You're right. I have not done that, and she has told me we need to do that already. And dude, I haven't even like returned my modems. Like some of it might be my fault, right? They're gonna be like, "Sir, this is the modem we gave you when you first opened the account," right? They're probably gonna say
Yeah.
some shit like that too, right? So, anyways, I'm just saying my TikTok motherfucking live came in better than my DAZN one. So no, dude, I got to see the whole thing, and then really, they didn't start cutting people off until the main event. That's when I had to jump around a little, but uh, hopefully he did good numbers because there was at least 5 videos up at a time, live, live, live. That you just click on the next one, you'll be right there in the round again. Um, so yeah, I did not buy Canelo. I bought the Friday night cards.
Okay, fair enough. I splurged. I had to buy both cards. I did the bundle,
Hey,
but
nice.
under normal circumstances, if a fight was on Saturday, like for example, if it was Canelo, I wouldn't have done it knowing, not to say that I knew that Skull was gonna lay an egg the way he did and shut the house, but I figured it was gonna be, a Canelo win. Um, Usually I hang out with my chick on Friday and I saw the fights with her. But if I hadn't ordered it, I have to pull out my laptop and plug it into the TV and do that shit with my pops on a Friday when I wasn't gonna be home. So he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna go to fucking TikTok. Yeah. So I was like, fuck. All right, let me just go ahead and fucking do it. Let me just pull the trigger, and then of course the streams were fine. Every so often things would get stuck a little bit, but I ended up pulling the trigger on the bundle. So my would count for both, right? Yours would be basically just a Friday card, and yours is gonna count towards that pay-per-view buy. I mean, mine will count for both, I know, but that's ultimately what I did is I just started I decided on the bundle. Um, Overall, before we head to Canelo and Skull, what was your impression of the card, the setting,
Okay.
Mike
Thank you.
Coppinger and what's his name, Lampley and Tarver on the mic, so on and so forth. What was your opinion of all that overall?
Sometimes Rick Reno makes me want to see Dana White faster.
Oh God!
What is he?
Over?
What is he doing, bro? Like, can we get a wardrobe person for Rick Reno in the background? The grandma hats, the gold chains, the sunglasses, the clothes that we know you don't wear. It's just too much. It really is. Like, the guy acts like, you know what I love about Rick?
Mm.
He very much puts him in the middle of everything. He's like, yes, we here at the Ring magazine, we really wanted to bring an event, and we really wanted. It's like, bro, come on. There ain't nobody in the boardroom asking Rick Reno what the fuck his thoughts are. I'm just, maybe there is. Show some proof. I don't believe it until I see it. I believe nothing I hear and half of what I see. That's what an old man told me a long time ago, and that's what I go with. So, yeah, that guy, he needs to tone it down a little. He makes me laugh. The event was a commercial. Listen, you guys, this had nothing to do with the fans. This had nothing to do with being historical and wanting to get out of here. Miguel just showed me the WWE's done this shit. So it's not historical. Been there, done that. That's what McMahon said from some fucking retirement home. Been there, done that. This was a commercial, man. He got every news outlet to put the Ring magazine on the TV. He got the casuals that were walking around. What did they say? Oh, I forgot the number. 400,000, 500,000 people or some shit, I guess, walked by that thing. Mm. Oh, that's what he paid for right there.
Sure.
They all got to see the video games that are coming out and the movies that are coming out and the comic books that are coming out. That it was a commercial. He paid for a commercial. This had nothing to do. You know why all of them said they're not doing it anymore? Because it was never supposed to be done. He just did it to get people to look at his product. Great move on Turkey's part. As far as markability, getting his name out there, getting the people that don't usually report boxing to report about it. So I give him props on that. As far as the event, no, it sounds like all the fans hated what was going on. They couldn't see. They were blocked street miles away, or not miles, blocks. Excuse me, blocks away. That sucks. You know what I mean? Why do you announce it as a free fight to the fans and then do that to us? Gotta say, you would think their word is a lot stronger, right? But what he's shown so far is that you really can't trust Turkey. He's lied about the pay-per-view events. He brings in all the promoters and tells them how great they are and how they're going to do good in boxing. And then, like, the next week says Dana White's going to save it. Fuck all those guys. Fuck your belts. We don't need any promoters, blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, seriously, how good is this guy's word? And then he tells us he's giving us a free fight. And maybe I'm putting too much on it, but I could have swore the New York fight opened up as it was a free fight to New York, and then all of a sudden we're hearing about, oh no, it's going to be VIP only, and then the day of the fight we see it's all blocked off, and we see there's tarps up. Weird. It was just weird. But as I was watching, I knew what it was. It was a commercial. That's all this is, and there's going to be another commercial here in a few months. It's not legit, but we'll get into that later. This is all he's doing. He's just pushing this product right now. Is he being successful? Listen, and you know what, Miguel? Damn, are we running out of time? Because we did not give Conor Benn and Chris Eubank their due justice, their props on the event that they threw. Those guys put on a hell of a fight. They put on a hell of a performance the other day in front of 67,000. 67,000 people, Miguel, showed up to watch that fight. We've been saying it a while here that the UK is dominating the sport, and they showed it again with another big. I mean, I don't give a shit. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Usyk, now Conor Benn and Eubank. Doesn't matter who they put in the stadium. They're rocking. These guys are selling tickets over there.
And
Don't
pay-per-view buys, because I've heard two different numbers. One doing 620,000 pay-per-view buys, one going as high as 1 million. But I think the million one is worldwide, I believe. I believe 620K is like maybe
and did you
local or something like that. Oh,
and did you hear how many clicks they're saying they got on the internet?
no, I didn't hear that part. No.
98 billion. That's with the
What the
B,
fuck?
bro. That's with the B.
Oh shit.
And I
Okay.
don't even know what that means. You know, if that means that Turkey actually, does that mean his website, you know, the Ring magazine got hit that many times, or just their names got hit that many times? But it's an absolute crazy number on how many people were typing I guess looking up Eubank Benn on the night of that fight. The dad showing up. Oh, come on. As a father, if that didn't fucking make everyone choke up, I swear to God, that was the Adam Sandler. Where's my phone? I gotta call my fucking dad. Dad's like, what are you calling me for? Nothing, Dad. Just want to say I love you, man. Thanks for being in my life, dude. Talk to you later. Fucking
Right.
dad shows up. That was
After saying
awesome.
like, "Oh, that's just a disgrace," and then he shows up and dude, that was like that was all my feed on Instagram. It's like, oh, Eubanks Jr. shows or senior shows up, and it's like, oh shit, okay, it's on now, right?
The
Yeah.
song, the Dre song, Still Dre,
Mm.
still got, dude, it was fucking legendary, bro. And then that 12th round. One of the craziest, bro. These guys, I mean, one is fucking got his really Ben was taking some serious punishment the whole fight. He landed shots, but being the smaller guy, it really seemed like Eubank was putting the hurt on him a lot more earlier than Ben was to Eubank. But then in the 12th round for Eubank to throw down like that with all, I mean, you heard he went to the hospital for like 2 days. He
Mm.
didn't, yeah, he
Yeah, I
went
know he
in
went to the hospital. I don't know
Saturday.
how long.
Yeah, he goes in Saturday. He doesn't get out until Monday. So there was something wrong. He was dehydrated. There was something going on.
Yeah.
And he still put in a performance like that. No, absolutely great. Now, moving forward, I'm going to tie him to Canelo, who fought 7 days later last night or Saturday night. I don't want to see that fight. I don't want to see
Well,
Eubank versus.
supposedly we're gonna get a Conor Benn and Eubank Jr. rematch, and then afterwards it's supposed to be Eubank Jr. and Canelo. I mean, that's basically the four opponents, right? It was Skull, who do you say, Crawford,
Crawford.
Eubank, and Shiraz or whatever. That's the way it seemed, at least. But so no, yeah. I mean, I don't want to see it either. I would much rather he not go that direction, but according to seeing, and I'm pointing to my TV because for everybody who doesn't know, if you go to either Ring Magazine on YouTube or Matchroom or something or DAZN, they're actually showing the fights already. By the way, full
Oh,
fucking fights.
wow.
Rowley and Ryan and Haney and Ramirez, they got them all on YouTube already. No more than a few days after the fight went down. So I feel bad for fucking spending 90 goddamn dollars when I could just wait a few days and watch them shits. Thank you, Turkey. God damn it. Shit.
Hey, someone's got to tell them that's why the HBO waited a week, bro. You got to
Yeah,
at least give
exactly.
us a week because you're right. You are absolutely right. You know how many people would be like, dude, are they going to be on YouTube tomorrow? Because I'll fucking wait. I swear to God, I will. Yeah, you are right, bro. There will be some people. You put those up too fast, you're going to kill your live audience.
Right, because my dad had told me because we saw bits and clips of fucking Eubank and Connor, and my dad was like, "Is that on YouTube?" I'm like, "Actually, I don't know. Is it on YouTube?" And it was like literally like 24 hours. It's like, what the fuck? Hell, these dudes like I don't know who decided to put them on there so quickly, but on the Ring Magazine YouTube channel, it's on there. So yeah. So all right. So back to the card itself, right? The setting, it was a big ass commercial, right? We had a couple of celebrities in the crowd, right? Mike Tyson and a few other people. Color commentary team. It was a bit of nostalgia, right? Listening to Lampley, Tarver, and Coppinger. How that was a bit of an odd combination, right? But we mentioned it. It's 2018, I think, was the last October of 2018 because I was there. The last HBO boxing card, and he hasn't done anything since. So that's what, 6 years now going on, or a little under 6 years of not being on the mic. 6 years older for Lampley. What did you think of overall the commentary team?
I enjoyed it more than I have recently with anything DAZN pushes.
Mm.
So I will start with that. Tarver is experienced. He's legend, right? Olympian. He's world champ. He fought for the heavyweight champ title and won. This is not Sergio Mora got lucky kind of fighter, right? Sergio's, and I hate knocking, but what was he? The champ for like 6 months? Swear to God, didn't Vernon take the belt back in half a year?
Something like that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
it's like
remember the
really fast. The
specifics. But
turnaround is really fast on his championship run. Not even a title defense. So no, I like hearing Tarver more. Lampley's legend and Coppinger. I don't really give two shits about. I don't even remember really hearing him. Even though I know he was there, I'm not listening for him. I was
mm.
listening to Lampley and Tarver talk. So yeah, no, definitely. I like I like that it's moving into a new direction. Let's get some new commentators. Let's change this up because look, Maddox and Mora. Did you see how hurt they looked in the studios?
Well, no, I didn't. I didn't. I mean, I saw them, but I mean, I didn't see them being hurt. You think they're just?
They look, yeah, they just
Oh,
didn't look happy. They didn't look happy. They weren't out there. They got asked to stay home. They're
well,
like,
they
really?
got two. There was two cards, so I think they have to have one team over here for this one, and then one team in Saudi Arabia, because I mean they couldn't have both of them in both spots.
I
Although,
didn't see him in
and
Saudi Arabia though.
no, who was the commentary? It was this, what's his name? Todd Grisham was that was he was the God damn it! I'm trying to remember who the hell it was
Yeah, I
though.
don't remember who that.
Uh,
Now that you say that, was that what it was? Yeah, I don't know. They just didn't look happy where they were. It was like really weird. Lampley and Tarver are ringside, and then they're like, "Let's go up to," and they were just in the studio, like, "Man, this
I
sucks."
want to be down in Times Square. Fuck. Um, Eddie Hearn and Turkey, they went from fucking New York, last night
Yeah,
to fucking Saudi Arabia 6 or 17 hours or however long. I mean, I know that they have
Crawford
on
did
private jet.
too. Didn't Crawford go last night? Yeah, Crawford
Oh,
was
was
there,
he?
of
No
course.
shit.
Yeah,
Damn. I don't remember if
yeah.
So he was there Friday night as well for the New York card, Crawford.
Yes, yeah, because they were all talking shit to Garcia. Remember, there's that one section where they're all like laughing together at Ryan's fucking getting
Mm.
mollywopped by Raleigh Romero in the
Oh
late
yeah,
in that
and then
fight.
like he was getting involved, or Teofimo in the bet with Teofimo's, was
Yes,
it sister or somebody, or
yeah,
was
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
That's
He
right. That's
said,
right.
"Shut
Yeah.
up, bitch." Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, I'm saying I would have loved to have seen the fight. I know it won't happen, but Telefimo no punk, man. You know what? Telefimo, he fights like an American. I know he likes to say that he's Latin. He's, Honduras and Mexico and all. That boy, he fights like he's American, man. He's in an American gym. He got the head movement. He's got the bounce. He's got the defense. He's got the ollie shuffle. Like, stop it. You're the American dream, bro. You need to put that flag back on you. You need to fight Haney for that motherfucking name back. That's the fight they should go for. Well, let's fight for that title because he really is the American dream. When his family came in, what did he say? His grandpa, they're one generation here, something like that. And look at where he is, right? That is the American dream. And not saying that Haney isn't the American dream, because he is too. I don't know why we couldn't have had two. Why is it? Why are we not proud to be American? Like, why was Top Rank like, nah, can't have two of you guys? All
Yeah.
this American love. The fuck, Bob?
That's already taken.
He's like, you're brown.
Right. Jeez. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a tricky one. I'm not sure why the hell. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you gotta have like in the big baby and the real big baby. It's like the American dream and the real American dream or something. I don't know.
Or you just fight for the motherfucking title.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
the
Right. Yeah.
winner gets to take it and the loser gets to be non-American. Hey, we're gonna bring back Lee, bro.
Yeah.
Kicked out. Fucking
Yeah. Get out. Who gets their green card? No, I'm kidding.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, geez.
Lopez's grandpa gone. No, I'm just fucking playing. I'm just
Yeah. It's like he's already dead. He's in ashes. You send his ashes back to Honduras.
oh my god.
Um, but should this be like a one-time kind of thing for Lampley? Like no, it was a good little nostalgia night, but like no more. Like you should ride off into the sunset the way you kind of were before this.
It matters if he likes it or not. If he came back and, like you said, was falling asleep in his chair, then go ahead and go home, dude. Like, yeah. But if he was into it, he's only going to get better, right? We clown that he had a few, mess ups, but we know how hard it is to talk live, right?
Sure.
Imagine trying to do it at 70 fucking 3 or 6 or whatever, however old he is. You know what I'm saying? So if he enjoyed it, I enjoyed listening to him and Tarver. Um, And I'm glad that they brought back Tarver. I really thought Roy Jones or something, Andre Ward could have come back with them, but Tarver was a fine choice um, to bring back. I thought it sounded a little like the old days, man. So yeah, it's all up to Lampley.
All right. Now, the fact that this card was in New York, Times Square, we have a mall here called Town Square, and I'm so used to saying Town Square, Times Square, New York. Um, Prior to this, it was rumored that there was going to be some sort of Teofimo fight on Alcatraz. Do you think that still goes down now that obviously Teofimo looking the way he looked? Are we going to get, I don't know, Teofimo and Devin or something on fucking Alcatraz Island? Do you think it will still go that right? Because if this is primarily a commercial, like you said, is it just a one-off thing, or do you think, oh, you know what, this is pretty successful, let's go ahead and do it again in on the Las Vegas Strip or whatever? But Alcatraz is what I remember last time. Do you think they're going to do another one of these kind of like crazy location type fights?
Um, I hope not. Alcatraz seems foolish to bring Lopez to the West Coast and put him on an island. But I get it if they don't even invite people and there's only 300 people of Turkey Ali's closest friends there.
Mm.
It, because we know why he's doing these events. I guess anything is possible, Miguel. This guy comes from a place where their money is not a question. So if
Sure.
they feel that Alcatraz will put their name in every magazine, on every website, go viral on social media, then they do it. If they see that they didn't get too many hits, I mean, obviously he didn't break Eubank and Benn's whatever that thing they were rating about hits on the internet. Obviously nobody beat Benn or Eubank, or you would think Turkey would have put out something saying, you know, last weekend 98 billion hits, this weekend 100 billion, but nothing. We haven't got anything. So if he sees that it didn't pay off, no, I don't think he does this again. It sounded like it was very expensive. Almost every promoter, De La Hoya, Eddie Hearn, and who was the other one attached to this? All of them
Oh,
were like,
no.
they were like, no, but Aaron really wasn't there. Did you
Well,
see
he
they
was,
had?
but Teofimo technically
Did
still
you?
was top rank, right?
Oh, of course, but I was saying when they were talking to the guys, they were like, if you knew how much money Turkey put in to get this done, they all said that. So you know it was pretty expensive. It's some shit that they probably wouldn't be doing. Um, but yeah, no. Top Rank sent some dude with. I don't know. The guy looked like they picked him up. I don't even know who he was. I don't even want to talk shit. It was probably someone cool, but he just didn't look like a Top Rank front office dude at all. It looked like they just picked up the phone and was like, "Hey, you want to go with Lopez and represent us? Yeah, fuck it,
What are you
why
doing on
not?"
Friday? Do you have anything to
Yeah.
do on Friday? Like, no, I'm just gonna grab some ramen. What's up? Like, all right, why don't I hop on a flight real quick? Head down to Times Square. Uh, Jesus Christ. So on that note, not a bad card. I mean, yeah, a couple of fights didn't exactly deliver as far as like Friday goes. But there was something else that I wanted to talk about in regards to that night, but I thought I had it here in my notes. But if it comes to me, I'll go ahead and bring it up at a later time. But that leads us to Saturday, Saudi Arabia, and the Canelo versus Skull card. Now, the co-main event, Munguia and Saras, we kind of figured that that's how the first fight was supposed to go down. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to toss in about that one, but we all knew why we tuned in. It was specifically for Canelo and Skull, and it most
I
certainly went. Uh,
I want to know the outcome of Boki.
oh,
I
but
didn't see that
Coley,
one.
Coley. Oh,
Bacoli.
he. If I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, he lost. He lost, dude. It was he fought the Effie Hagba Jogba and a Jogba box with him. But although he did catch him a few times, there were a couple of times where he stuck a Jogba to where he's like, oh shit, and he kind of like had to make him think twice about coming in. He bloodied his nose. A Jogba had a bloody nose, and Bacoli was just doing his best George Foreman, I suppose, because he actually had Foreman on his T-shirt when he came out, and he just wasn't able to catch him. He wasn't able to cut off the ring, and you can tell the dude's got some fucking heavy ass hands. Even the hands, the punches that don't land that cleanly, they'll fucking move a Jogba. But no, a Jogba. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me double check this because It might have been a draw, actually. Hold on. Let me double check this. Now I'm starting to remember. It might actually have been a draw. But if you give me just a couple of seconds while I pull it up here real quick.
Did you hear Turkey a la Sheik demand, not demand, but talk about the heavy?
It was a draw. All right. Thank you. My bad. Correction. Majority draw. Go ahead. Did I hear Turkey say what?
That the heavyweight division needs a black champion.
I did. But did he mean like black American? Or
it
just
doesn't matter. I don't know if we even want to go down that road.
Because I thought.
Hey, let me tell you, Miguel, if there was ever a broadcaster, or like, let's say the NFL, Roger Goodell came out and said, you know what the NFL needs, right? Now, I don't like talking race or religion, but man, we could really use a good white quarterback right about now. Do you know how fast Roger Goodell's ass would be an ex-NFL commissioner?
You're not supposed out with his fucking box, the fucking Emmy on this side.
I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it. I don't know, bro. That was.
You're gonna see a podium, fucking bust out in front of him so fast with a mic, saying like, "I want to issue my apology for my insensitive words."
We need a black heavyweight.
Yeah,
that's about as good as Bob going. You ever seen a Mexican and a Puerto Rican? Oh boy, when they get in the ring, it was like Bob, don't tone it down.
He's like, especially when their papers are on the line. Oh, you best believe
these guys will kill each other.
It is great ratings, let me tell you. Yeah, but I did see that. You sent me the clip of that shit, and I was like, oh, this guy. Nobody tells him no, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I thought about what you say when you're all. He's unfiltered, man. No one tells this guy how to talk. He's on, and then I love how he keeps saying, I don't like talking religion or nationality. Bro, you have like 3 reels saying that. So you do like talking about it because you brought it up in multiple fucking camera interviews. Oh my God.
Yeah. Like Turkey, I don't know if you know what that means, but that disclosure means you're gonna say the most political and racial shit ever. That just so you know, that's exactly what that means. Like, I don't mean to be political, and then proceeds to say the most political shit ever.
Yeah.
That's I don't know if anybody tells him. Does he have a publicist? Or a filter? Somebody that can be like, no, Turkey, you can't say that here. That's not how it works. You can say it in your country. You can't say it here. You can't say that shit.
What is really said behind closed doors?
Oh yeah, to be a fly on the wall. These conversations. But Bacoli and Ajagba went to a majority draw. It was a pretty entertaining fight. These dudes were throwing down, especially after what we saw on Friday. These guys were throwing down, so it was entertaining. And for all I know, it's probably on fucking YouTube. I haven't looked it up, but I know the Raleigh fight is there, and everybody else is. Even Canelo's fight is already up there. But on that note, Munguia defeated Saras. Basically, we saw what we probably should have seen the first time they fought, and it just looked like Saras was just outgunned. He did the same shell up, got covered a lot of punches and didn't throw as many as he should have. Although the few that he did crack Munguia was able to take, basically. So he was able to do what he needed to do. He did call out a couple of people after the fight, saying Berlanga's name and Plant's name. So clearly it sounds, and now that he's not with Oscar. Oh, that's what I was going to say before I forget about Friday. Oscar went 0-3. He promotes Ryan, he lost. He promotes Ramirez, he lost. Promotes Barboza, he lost. So that's what I wanted to say before we moved on to Canelo's card. Oscar De La Hoya went 0-3 on Friday. Ouch. But anyway, yes. On to the what was supposed to have been, I guess the main event with Canelo and then Skull. So if you've been living under a rock and didn't see or didn't hear, Canelo won by unanimous decision, and he is a 2-time undisputed super middleweight champion. And by that basically means that one belt that was floating around in the possession of one William Skull is now in the possession of Canelo once more, and Canelo is once again an undisputed champion in the 4-belt era, along with the Ring Magazine title that was presented to him in the ring. It looks like Turkey had a special one made out of gold or whatever the fuck, and had it pulled out of this suitcase that looked like it belonged in a James Bond movie. And
no, Rick Reno had that made.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
Yeah. It's a ring belt, so obviously he wanted to bring the best belt that he could.
Understandable. It's like, Rick, do you got anything to do? All right, make me a belt. So he came out and of course he gave it to Canelo, and Canelo put his fingerprints all over the fucking freshly clean plate, but awarded with the super middleweight lineal championship there. All right, so what do you think about the fight? Obviously, the low output, a lot of backpedaling by Skull, and I used Laura as an example in the past, and you're like, dude, don't you dare disrespect Laura with with comparing him to Skull. So at least Laura fucking unloaded a couple of fucking lefts, right? It made at least Canelo worry a little bit. Skull not so much. So first impressions when you were watching 3, 4, 5 rounds in, what were you thinking?
I think I was asleep by round 5. Now I wake up, and I'm not being a dick. This fight is boring. All right, nobody's fucking punching. Like, look, I give Skull. He did a terrible job, but this was almost Canelo peaking on himself mailing in some of these fights. Right? It just seems like Canelo nowadays fights totally down to his opponent's level, and he went way overboard on this one. On this one, he's literally counting punches. He knows he has the round, so he just stopped. He's doing whatever Skull's doing. Didn't like it, man. He's had so many decision victories. I am giving Terence Crawford a little bit of a shot at outboxing him, because he's just not punching as much. His punches don't seem to be as hard. Like who knows? Who really knows? Um, I wasn't impressed with the fight at all, because they weren't really fighting. They were exchanging 1-2s, or one guy would swing, the other would follow, and then throw some punches maybe back. There was no mixing it up. Canelo never cut off the ring. He never went after it. So I don't know how much more I can carry on this one, right? This is just, to me, this is just Canelo fucking, he got a check, man. He got a check. No one cares about the undisputed shit either. When we talk about his legacy, no one's going to be like, hey, don't forget he was 2-time undisputed super middleweight champ. Like, that makes him above a Hagler or a James Toney now or something like that. It doesn't, right? You want to know what does that? Fighting the toughest competition that was in front of you. And if you no longer want to do that, then maybe it is time that you walk away. Because it's sad that I have to. Oh, it's sad that I have to see him put in a performance that he did to even give Terence Crawford a shot in the fight. That's not how our face of boxing is supposed to be matched up, right? Oh, well, he looked so bad in his last fight. Maybe in this fight the guy will win. Canelo's had a lot of fucking matches lately where they're not even. Ryder wasn't even a fight. Berlanga wasn't a fight. Charlo wasn't a fight. He's getting a long list of fucking cherry picking here at the end, right? When is he going to cash us out and give us the fight that we want? And I know it's probably not going to happen. We might be long past it, but don't blame other people for your boring fights or your marketing going down in America. Blame yourself. You've picked shitty opponents. You're avoiding the guys that people want to see you actually fight, and he's been cashing it in. So with that being said, maybe the fire is still burning for Terence Crawford on September 12th, and it's not burning as much. Maybe Canelo wants to go in there and just dance a little, just throw a few little punches and get the lead and see how that works for him. Munguia was a bullshit fight. I mean, look at all these fights that we're naming, bro. These were not fucking. This didn't make any Canelo fans stay up the night before. There was no little kids like, oh my God, Jaime Munguia tomorrow. They're just not. John Ryder, whatever the fuck the dude's name was. It John Ryder?
Yeah. It was
Yeah, all right. But yeah, these guys, they just didn't do it. So, with that being said, that's why I didn't buy the fight. I had nailed it. I knew it was going to be 12 rounds. It was, and I was really happy I didn't purchase that thing. No knock on Canelo like I'm hating on him, bro, but this is just, for me, it's just, I've seen this record played way too many times. I'm actually waiting for Canelo to want a challenge again, and I don't even know if Terence Crawford is a challenge. It looked like Terence, that Canelo told Terence, you wanted this. That was a great opening to their face-off because maybe Canelo's like, hey, you want to get embarrassed? I'm going to fucking embarrass you now, right? You're a small guy facing big dog. So hopefully Canelo brings that attitude into this fight. Like he's going to bully him, right? Because he should.
Yeah.
You're 2 divisions over him, right? And really, I didn't like the pudginess of Terence Crawford's face, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to let the workouts happen, and we'll see what he looks like on the time of the fight. But yeah, at that time, he did look a little not like the Terence Crawford we're used to seeing. But this is my last thing, you guys, on Devin Haney. This was the last reason why Devin Haney and his dad won. Because then Canelo and Skull the next night break Haney and Ramirez's record. They won.
Yeah.
They won. You want to say they boxed and they were being calculated? Well, hey, the face of boxing boxed and was calculated his damn self. So it was just a very good night for the Haneys, or a good weekend for the Haneys. And with Canelo and Skull mailing in their own freaking dance-a-thon, Haney got to at least go, no, I don't have the record 24 hours later.
My dad did also mention how, chubby he looked, how soft Crawford looked in the ring there. A couple of things. Number one, maybe it was just me, but did Canelo not look as ripped? I know he still has the washboard abs, right? But I don't know, on the sides it just looked a little soft. I don't know, like maybe it was just the way the cup was like kind of pressing up against his ribs or something. I don't know, but I saw it and I'm like, that's not like a little mini spare tire on him, is it? Like I know he's in his 30s, but it's like the dude's still fucking
high 30s.
High 30s, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Right? Well, mid 30s, I guess he's officially reaching the mid 30s.
Yeah, I think it was LeBron James that's 30. No, it was Stephen Curry's 37. Yeah, Curry.
Oh, is it? Okay.
That blew my mind last night when I heard that, man. I was like, what the fuck? I thought Curry was like hella younger than me and all. And not that he isn't. We're not the same age, but 37. I was just thinking a little younger. You're right. Well, not Canelo. It was Curry that I was thinking of last night. Sorry. My bad.
Okay. But anyway, maybe it was just me. I saw that and I was like, oh man, hopefully it was just me and I just was looking at the wrong angles. I don't know. Maybe I definitely will stress everyone to check it out on YouTube and see. Maybe it was just me. I don't know, because it's hard to tell definition on guys that are so fair skinned like that. Usually guys who are more tanned, you can see more definition on them. But maybe it was just me. Fuck if I know. Maybe I was just like looking too hard. I don't know. But my dad did mention that about Crawford looking like that. That performance does kind of give us more of a like, oh shit, maybe Crawford has much more better chance than we're probably giving him credit for, and maybe this will kind of bring it out of Canelo again to like, oh, challenge myself, because that's kind of at least in the sport of wrestling, and I don't mean like pro wrestling, I mean like collegiate wrestling. When somebody goes into your weight division, it's kind of a bit of a slap in your face, kind of like, oh shit, really, you're coming to my weight division, huh? Okay, well, I'll show you. So I'm hoping maybe this kind of brings it out on Canelo. On that note, Andrew, we talked about apparently this is what Turkey has said, that we're gonna get TKO into this topic here. This is from what I have read online here. Let me go ahead and bring this up here. This is a Turkey. Yes. This is from X, or Twitter, right? Formerly Twitter. It says here, we will deliver the fight of the century with Riyadh season on September 12th at Las Vegas's Allegiant Stadium. The legend Canelo defends his Ring Magazine title versus the great Terence Crawford. TV platform will be announced soon with a big surprise. And then period. My brother Dana White will promote his first TKO boxing event with me. It will be something crazy. Okay. So not only are we going to get Crawford and Canelo in September, it's going to be here at Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada, but apparently Dana White and his TKO promotion is going to be promoting this particular event. I don't know how much money is going to be forked up for this. I certainly don't anticipate it's going to be no fucking, that pay chart that we saw was $750,000, and most certainly it's not going to be that. I know you wanted to speak on this, Andrew, so by all means, you have the floor.
Yeah, It's funny how fast the MMA media, the boxing MMA media, will grab these stories of Dana White and turn them into a Dana White is promoting Canelo Crawford. Dana White is not promoting Crawford and Canelo. Dana White is promoting his new TKO platform on the back of Saul Alvarez. I'm sorry, but Saul Alvarez kicked the shit out of Dana White more than once going up heads with this guy, right? When they both would end up in Las Vegas, we all seen who won ticket sales. We seen who won pay-per-view. It's always been Canelo. Canelo's fight with Charlo, Steven Espinoza told us, Canelo did $20 million at the gate. To put that in perspective, the UFC has never done $20 million in their entire existence. Now look, you guys, the UFC just did it one time. They just did it on the night that they did the Sphere.
Oh,
you want to know who? Yeah. You want to know who purchased the majority of those tickets? His Excellency. The tickets weren't sold until His Excellency stepped in and bought that fucking event. Before that, those tickets dropped 700%. 700% they dropped. Please stop telling me that it's Dana White who's promoting Saul Alvarez. It is Saul Alvarez that is promoting Dana White. Dana White has always used boxing to promote his fucking big fights. He's always they gotta call out a fighter. They're always attaching their UFC names to fucking boxers. That's all they're doing here, people. Please don't fucking mess with my intelligence. The motherfucker told us he's only giving Dana White $10 million. Fucking the main event is gonna be $200 million that night. How is Dana White promoting shit? How? What is he going to give it to that don't already know this fight is happening? Who's he promoting? UFC? You think the UFC fans don't know that Crawford and Canelo signed? This is a fucking joke. All they're hoping for is that the TKO platform gets a good head start. Maybe we watch it and go, hey, these are some really good bums that they got fighting. Man, these guys that are fighting for $25,000 are really good. I might watch this Joe Blow next time. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Just like Canelo. I wish I could say it like Canelo. Miguel, it's a joke. This is a dream. Look. Go ahead.
Are we going to get a TKO undercard?
That's what it is, bro.
Basically, the main event is still,
the Ring Magazine,
Ring Magazine, or whomever the fuck else.
Rick Reno will still be in the middle of both of them.
With the Ring Magazine for no fucking reason, just having that fucking belt down, just because they had an extra belt in the office. I'm like, yeah, bring that prop over here. Let's go ahead and put it in the middle of these guys. So we're basically going to get a pretty crummy undercard. TKO, TKO matchmaking undercard, and then the main event with Crawford and Canelo, pretty much.
Yes, that's all this is. The main event is so expensive. He's like, how can we get a cheap undercard? Hey, Dana, you got any of those sloppy joes that you've been signing? Look, we heard Eddie Hearn called them that. And not sloppy joes, but Eddie Hearn's like, look, I've seen the guys he's reaching out to. There are a lot of the lower level boxers. So
yeah, and it's not just Eddie Hearn that said that. I've heard other people say that, to say like, look, if they're gonna get into this business, it's not gonna be with the elites. That's for damn sure. It's gonna be with the guys coming in and the lower level guys, because for them to fork up that kind of cash for something like this, for example, that's not happening. That's not fucking happening. There's no way.
Yeah, no, and that's all this comes down to, is they're using Canelo. Do not get it twisted. Don't think Canelo needs Dana White to make 100. You guys, they're saying Canelo made 100 million last night or Saturday night. 100 million to fight fucking Scully. How much you really think he's gonna make fighting Terence Crawford? Dana White don't sign those checks. Stop it.
Good point. Very good point. But that definitely kind of puts a little bit of a bummer on the rest of the card. Like, shit, we're gonna basically, if we decide to order it, which I might, but if I don't, I can, we can anticipate the undercard being pretty lackluster as far as significant star name or any sort of recognizable names that we'll see on that card.
Dana White is going to have to bring somebody from the MMA. Mark my words. He's going to have to bring some kind of name to try to get this thing jump started. It's not going to be a bunch of Greg Haugens, dude. It's not. And I hate to say that it's going to be a bunch of white guys, but I really do think it's going to be a bunch of white guys. I think he's looking, as his boss says, we need a black heavyweight champ. Let me go out and be racist. There's no bigger money for Dana White than a white boxing champion. That's what they say the model was in the UFC in the very beginning. That's what blew them out the water, was the white guys had something to lean on again, right? Grappling, boxing, Muay Thai. It just made them cool again. They're like, look, we can do some shit. We're knocking motherfuckers out. Then they all jumped on that bandwagon. We know what Dana White's looking for. We know what he's looking for. So I can say it. I'm just following.
We know what demographic he's trying to tap into.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Get the fuck out of here. It ain't fucking Brazil. He said it himself.
Yeah, right. That's actually what I thought. I was, what? Because look at the guy that they promote on the UFC Fight Pass, Callum Walsh. He's Irish. That's as white as fucking gets. Now, yeah, granted, it's not like Alabama white or anything like that, but that's fucking pretty white, right?
Conor got pretty big.
Yeah.
Right.
Precisely. Okay, so that was the news, right? TKO promoting Canelo and fucking Crawford.
TKO. No. Dana is promoting TKO under Canelo Promotions. That is Canelo's fight. Canelo runs that bitch. Canelo don't listen to Dana White. Canelo won't be going, oh, you want me to be here at what time? Fuck out of here. He'll tell Dana to go fuck off like he's done his whole career. You guys need to get it right. You boxing media, I'm so sick and tired of you guys trying to twist this story to something that it isn't. And that's Dana White taking over boxing. Dana White is not taking over shit. He's taking over some bum tough man contest that they're going to try to get some bum guy to get hot. So all of you guys will fall for it. Pay for the pay-per-view to watch him cross over and then lose to somebody on the real side of boxing that's actually fighting for the titles. So that's my prediction on what's coming with TKO.
All right. Fair enough. And before I totally jumped the gun because of this fight with Crawford and Canelo. But before I hop into the next story, because I know we were kind of running a little bit short on time. Sunday, Inoue and Cardenas, that was basically capped off the weekend, right? That was yesterday evening. Pretty good fucking card, at least co-main event and main event. Co-main event kind of showed Inoue what is waiting for him at 126 pounds if he decides to go in that direction. Inoue has since said, I've seen it on a couple of Instagram posts, that he's planning to stay at 122 at least for the foreseeable future. So clearly it doesn't look like he's in too much of a rush to move up to 126, especially with the likes of Espinoza there, who fought on the co-main event. But great card if you guys want to watch it, ESPN Plus, at least the co-main event and the main event. But holy hell, the main event, did that save the weekend, Andrew? Did that kind of like, for as much action as, or lack thereof that we got on Friday and Saturday, it was a competitive fight. For a quick second, we thought they were going to pull up the upset. Yes, we did see an upset with Rolly and Ryan, but this probably would have been, or at least for the hardcores, substantially bigger upset had Cardenas actually came away with the victory. He had it. He fucking had it, and he let it slip away.
Yeah, no, he definitely had the fight in his hands. It actually looks like the blueprint. I don't know. Did we already talk about this on there? The blueprint?
No. I think we briefly did it, but it was very brief. It was. I mean, we wanted to get it and go in order from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we're on Sunday now. So.
He's been moving up. He's been dropped twice now. It was not a good look that Timothy Bradley put out there about him being so exposed during exchanges, and then he literally gets dropped during an exchange, chin up in the air. Manny Pacquiao would have knocked out Inoue. Nonito Donaire would have knocked out Inoue. He's not the best Asian fighter ever. You can tone that down. Um, he's got a great offense, great 1-2. Subpar on the defense because he does get hit a lot, and his hands are just not home. Look, he's gonna get exposed. He's almost been exposed twice. Last night was really close. The kid forgot his way, and it was probably because this was his first title shot, is why he lost his way during that fight. If he had a little bit of experience under him and stuck to his game plan, he probably wins last night. Yeah, I also thought the referee did a terrible job of stopping that fight. I didn't really see him hurt for what he was going through. Let the kid take a knee, or let him go down, right? He's putting his heart on the line. The punishment wasn't bad enough where anyone was thinking that the ref needed to step in and stop that, in my opinion. The round before, he had almost turned the fight around again with those two body shots.
Yeah.
He hits, yeah, dude.
But then he stops. But then he
I
stops.
know.
God damn it.
I know. No, I think it was inexperience on him. His corner was telling him the right thing. Move forward, throw punches. Look, Inoue does not do good on exchanges, man. Timothy Bradley, I'm not going to act like I sat here and broke it last night. Timothy Bradley told us, he showed us. This guy throws shots and his hands are going down to his waist. They're going down to his chest, but his chin is sitting right there. Anybody who knows how to set a trap is going to probably clear this guy's clock. Now, is that Rafael? What's the young man's Espinoza? Rafael Espinoza? I don't know, right? He seems more of like he just brings it, right? So maybe in the mix of him just bringing it, he catches Inoue. If I'm Inoue, I don't know if I'm looking at another division. Look, the guy's already made his mark, as Japan considers him the greatest of all time, right? He's the monster. He's Mike Tyson. He's a sellout every time he fights over there. Maybe you just go over there and finish out the career fighting in Japan. So, dude, it's been like, what did they say, 6 years, 4 years or something since he fought in America? I thought that was a crazy stat.
Yeah. I think it was 2021. I forgot when it was, but I think it was during COVID.
Yeah, crazy stat that he hasn't been here for that long. Being such a big superstar, you'd think Top Rank would have tried to make him a crossover. You know what I mean? Now, look, correct me if I'm wrong. Tank is at 130.
Yeah. No. If 135.
He did move up to 135 now.
He's been at 135 for a hot minute. His fight with Rolly was there. Frank Martin was there.
Oh, yeah, because then he played with 140. All right.
Yeah, very briefly.
I was going to say a catch weight. It was, but if I'm in a way, that was the only thing I'd look at because the numbers are too big, right? But at 135, they're probably just too far from each other to even maybe a Lomachenko's 135 too now, though, huh? Yeah, I guess they're all out of 130 now. I don't know if there's a guy at 130 that's big enough as far as a name.
Navarrete?
No. I knew you were gonna say that. I was gonna say, no, dude. I just don't think the name's big enough for. It has to be a name that's gonna get a sellout at Las Vegas, right? We want to make him the new Manny Pacquiao. 14 pay-per-views. I know I'm just throwing shit at the wall here, but we want to make him big.
Sure.
I don't know if it's Navarrete, man. That's not a crossover fight, and I don't know if it's Espinoza. Now, if Espinoza can beat Navarrete on a big card, when I say big card, they could be the main event. But if they can make the Mexicans believe that that's the new Barrera Morales, then the winner of that fight maybe can pull Inoue up with the big pay-per-view. But I think it has to be Espinoza and Navarrete meeting each other, and the people got to buy into it. Top Rank needs to do some work to make that fight a legit, this is the winner goes up against Inoue and the people buy in. Then maybe Inoue moves up. Without that happening, he's been dropped too many times here moving up. There's no reason to risk it. If the money's not good enough, dude, you sell out over there every time you step in the ring. Just keep bringing the guys over there and making your money until it's over. He had a great run, right? He's had big fights. He's been on both America and obviously Japan making money. So it's not a knock if he doesn't get a huge crossover fight here in America. It's not a knock. Just the timing wasn't right. It just never happened for him.
Could this be maybe, and considering Bob Arum's age and this whole thing going on with His Excellency, could this be maybe Top Rank's last chance at like a major pay-per-view thing, like with him, if they're able to make some sort of, like, for example, we'll get Espinoza and mind you, Espinoza's at 126, Navarrete is still at 130. In case they can make that half fight happen, maybe halfway or something along those lines, or maybe Espinoza just moves up, and they make it look like, oh shit, Espinoza's this bad motherfucker, and then we get something like that with him and in a way, could that be like maybe their coup de grace, their like last hurrah, Top Rank, as far as like the last pay-per-view they could fucking do? Because they're kind of we don't know what's going to happen with them later on this year, so their deal with ESPN is going to end later this summer. The rumor is they might hop over to DAZN, but that was still up in the air, considering they're sort of there. That could be their last hurrah, huh? Like a major pay-per-view with Inoue, and be it Navarrete or Espinoza.
Yeah, no, I mean legit, and they're all from the same stable, so it's very doable. As long as they have people there that want to see the fight on both sides, Japan, Mexico, and America, it's a very doable fight. It's just a matter of is it worth it for Inoue? It's not, like I said, it's not like, as of right now, it's not like a win versus either one of those guys would make him the new Manny Pacquiao, right? Manny just came at a great time, dude. He had three Mexicans that were fucking all ticket sellers, man. And then they had great legendary fights, all of them. So sometimes in the life, it's just about timing. In a way, just came at a bad time.
And did you catch how like ESPN Plus were taking so many shots at or ESPN? I mean, like Joe Tessitore and Bradley taking so many shots at the Friday's card and Saturday's card. Like every single shot, every chance they got, they're just like, oh, these guys, this is how it's supposed to be. Like they just went like to the bone. They were totally taking jabs at any opportunity they had at Saturday's card and Friday's card.
I did catch that. They did sound like some what is the word that we used to give for De La Hoya and Canelo? Some bitter ex-girlfriends. Oh. Because we all know their walking papers are coming here soon, right? It just felt like they were like really like, yeah, we're the better network. It's like, you guys are almost out of a job. Shh. Yeah. You guys suck. Those guys suck over there.
Yeah, it's like you might be applying over there real soon. It's like,
well, fuck them.
You better hire me, shit.
ESPN for life.
Yeah. I know, right? Like for life, they got the ESPN fucking tattooed on their hands and shit, like they're fucking cholos. Oh man. All right.
That's just what it sounded like a little. You know what I mean? When they kept bringing it up, so it sounded like they're just a little bit jealous.
Yeah, everybody from Bernardo Osuna to fucking Kriegel, they were all going in that direction. Mark Kriegel, they were just like, yeah, this is how they're supposed to fight, how this is what action we're supposed to be seeing. Like, all right, tone it down. I heard you the first time, fool. Relax.
It was very cool. All knockouts, though. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
I guess every single one of their fights, and so at least we got that right. None of them went decision, so. Yeah.
All right. So last.
Oh, yeah. I got one more, dude. Because I didn't see it. Was that Barrera's son? Did you see the Barrera kid?
I saw Barrera in Espinosa's corner, but I didn't. There's a Barrera kid.
Yeah, there was a Barrera kid who fought that night. So Vargas's son fought. I want to say there was one kid that had Barrera, and I think it looked like Barrera, bro. I was like, oh my God, Barrera's kid is now a professional boxer?
Hold on, let me see. Well, it says Art Barrera Jr. Art Barrera?
Yeah, no, his was Marco.
Yeah.
Maybe an uncle. You know, that always happens. It's always someone else. Yeah, it's always a nephew or
it's a possibility. I'm gonna pull it up because I know it was on the undercard of the like the early preliminary fight.
That's right.
The ESPN Plus card. So I'll look it up to see. Maybe Barrera was in his fucking corner for all we fucking know. I don't know. I didn't take a look. I started watching it a little bit later on. I think I tuned in right as the Vargas fight was starting, so I missed those early ones. But I'll look at that. I'll catch you.
Yeah, I definitely wanted. Yeah, I missed some good talent. They had some good talent showcased on that one. Yeah. It's gonna suck when Top Rank's gone. I
Yeah,
know.
that's the
I
thing.
know.
Like they're just basically they're at the point where they still have the eye for the talent and they still sign the talent. They just can't afford to keep them. They start getting bigger and better, like the Shakurs, like the those names out there, and then eventually they book it and they go somewhere else, and it's like somewhere else is where they have their pay-per-view fights, no longer on Top Rank.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So last story of the card before I let you guys go is this whole rigmarole of Fundora being stripped of the WBO title. His mandatory challenger as WBO champion was Xander Zayas, and now that's not the case anymore. He's going to drop that, or he was stripped of it to get the rematch with, or to proceed with the rematch with Tim Tszyu. I get it. Maybe there's more money involved in this fight with Tim Tszyu. I would have to assume more so than a an upcoming contender like Xander Zayas. But there's a couple of tweets that I pulled up here. I think if I can pull them up here. Okay. Oh, this is from Rick Laser, right? Rick Laser says, I just read the WBO resolution is stripping Sebastian Fundora of the WBO junior middleweight title for refusing to fight the mandatory contender in Xander Zayas. This is what he says, his thoughts. The WBO was within their right, absolutely their right to strip Fundora. WBO treats everyone equally with respect. Okay. To those that say Fundora had a rematch clause with Tim Tszyu, that is absolutely not true. Samson has now been another boxing hand. What a shame. So Samson being his promoter, being a lot of PBC guys at the time. I guess Benavides being another one. But anyway, that kind of sucks. I was kind of looking forward to seeing, yeah, I know we're going to get the rematch that probably should have happened already with Fundora and Tszyu, but I would much rather have seen. I mean, considering the way Tszyu looked, I'm not saying that he looked bad. I mean, obviously he lost the that follow-up fight afterwards, his second fight after Fundora, but I was much more interested in watching Xander and Fundora than Fundora Tim Tszyu the rematch. What do you think?
It's a step backwards, in my opinion. I agree with you. I think Fundora should have moved forward with the Zayas fight. Zayas is Puerto Rican, correct?
Yes, yes.
So it's a much bigger
Hmm.
fight
Yeah.
on that on that side too. Zoo, you got to go to Australia to make money. You ain't making no money with Zoo over here. He's not doing shit on pay-per-views. He's not tied to any network that I know of. It seems like he's always on PBC's Amazon Prime. They
Hmm.
don't pay. So dumb move for Fundura. I don't know what he was thinking on that one. That was a trust. He's just trusting L. L pitched him something that he's gonna trust. But no, I think the bigger money was the Zayas fight, and it also, I think, a bigger legacy
Hmm.
because it's a Mexican Puerto Rican fight that could turn into a classic that is watched from years from now. Zoo's a flash in the pan at this point. Let Fundora beat him again. No one.
So, sorry, Sam. Sam, our good buddy Sam Nibajero, probably not gonna like the fact that you just called Tim Tszyu a flash in the pan, but okay.
Yeah, no, I mean we don't know where Zoo's at right now, right? So don't like that Fundura at all. Hopefully he knows something we don't.
It could be. That kind of sucks for also for Zayas. He's had the opportunity to go up with a bigger name like Fundora, and now that's out of the picture. That fighting somebody like Fundora, it's not just fighting for the belt and winning the belt, but it's also who you beat for the belt. And beating somebody like Fundora is pretty significant. And it would have sucked. It would have been better for him to do that. Now it sucks that he's going to have to like either just be handed the belt or maybe fight for the vacant title or something. Chances are it's just going to be handing it over to him. But that kind of sucks. That's a direction that he's going to go with. Considering how Sue looks now, Fundora most likely is going to take it. Right, he's going to probably walk over him.
Yeah, if Zoo ain't, you know what? And now that I think about it, we always talk about free checks and prolonging your career. Maybe that's what Fundura and them are going off of, right? They know
Mm.
damn well they're like, hey, his head's gonna be right there. We know this guy. This guy's not hard to find. You know what I'm saying? It's an easy win. You get paid. You then go back to either Al Heyman or Turkey Ali Sheik and see what's next for
Mm.
his career, because obviously if he beats Zoo, I think there would still be some interest in him at the 154 division. So that could be why you probably hit it on the head on They know him. It's an easy rematch. It's an easy rematch. I won't knock that.
All right. Well, that does it, everybody. That was all I had here on the docket. I wanted to throw that last one in there real quick. Anything else you wanted to add to this, Andrew?
What's your over-under on pay-per-views, bro? Come on.
Man. Okay. So I think that the Friday card is going to get more pay-per-view buys. If you
Damn.
force me to get a number out here, um, considering Canelo's situation with like not being the mega pay-per-view star that he once was, it. I think he's going to lose the pay-per-view battle with. I mean, I don't know how the double one is going to count, right? If you buy the bundle, I mean, but if you end up separating the ones that just ordered the Friday card and just ordered the Saturday card, the Friday card is going to win. And looking at those numbers, I'm going to say about 500,000 for the
That's what I
Friday
was.
card.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm hoping for, man.
maybe around the 300,000 for Friday. I mean, it's for Saturday, just for Saturday. The bundle, I don't know how that's going to count. Of course, obviously, it's going to bring those numbers up. But solely, I'm thinking Friday wins by at least 100,000 pay-per-view buys.
Yeah.
That's my best bet. What were you thinking?
I'm hoping that that Friday beats Saturday, and the only reason why is because we had so many Americans on that card, Miguel. It's like a lot of American firepower there to not get to beat, Saul really, who's only on his.
Yeah.
So
And young guys too. It's not
yeah,
just it's guys that
yes,
have a little bit of a younger appeal that can appeal to a younger crowd is what I'm saying.
yeah, yep. So we will see.
All right, yes, and we'll definitely talk about it because, mind you, today is Monday. We're recording on Monday. Usually the numbers come out Tuesday, Wednesday-ish, and you best believe I'm going to be looking for them. So on the next show, chances are we're going to discuss that because, usually that is when the numbers come out, and we'll probably have them by next week's show. But okay, all right. Andrew prematurely had to click the end button, the recording button. So my bad, y'all. But we didn't. It was pretty much the end of the show, but we didn't want to leave you guys hanging with no fucking ending or no closing. So anyway, next week we will go over the pay-per-view numbers. I'm sure we'll get the numbers by then. But until then, this has been Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs. That has been Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapache. And this has been the Mad Boxing Show. Enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy the rest of your Cinco de Mayo. Peace, everybody.
Oh, now it won't fucking stop. What